Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be trying on some newly released Chanel. I recently got this. I purchased this one from Selfridges and it is the Chanel Makeup Takeaways, and this one is called the Nature Getaway. There's also one with a green theme as well, and that has a beautiful, I think they call it a grasshopper green. It's one of those lac eyeshadows, but I wasn't able to get that one because I'm purchasing from Selfridges. They won't send to New Zealand something that contains a nail polish because that has a nail polish in it. And it's the same with fragrances as well. I can't purchase fragrances from Selfridges either. Now, these are up on the Chanel US website, but at this stage, it seems a little bit tricky to purchase them. If you refresh the page, it does say add to bag, and apparently that works. So hopefully you'll be able to check out and these will be delivered to you. But I have heard that these are going to be available from boutiques and probably properly online, and the add to bag will show up, and that's about, I think, the first week of August or the second week of August. And as well as using a couple of items from this, and I'll show you what's inside here soon, I'm also going to be trying out, it's the Jardin Imaginaire, and this is the one in gold and peach. Now, I have done a video on the other blush, and that is the light and berry one, and that is just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just going to pop this down and let's get started with the makeup. So I'm going to start off with primer. This is the new Chanel one. Well, it was released last year. One of my favorite primers. So I'm just going to pop on a little bit of that and then let it sit for a couple of minutes, and then I'll put on the foundation. And for the foundation today, I just want to wear something light. So I've pulled out the Vitalumiere Aqua, and this is in the shade 30. This is a really beautiful lightweight foundation, and it goes really well with my oily skin. So I'm just going to give it a shake, pop a little bit on the back of my hand, and just start off with dotting some just on the left side of my face first. Now, this foundation has been around for a while, but I only picked it up, I think it was last year. I always thought for some reason that it may not suit my oily skin, but it works really well and also wears really well during the warmer months. It's really lovely, just feels very light on the skin. Really gorgeous foundation. So off camera, I put on some concealer. I've also powdered under my eyes, the rest of my face. I've put on eyeshadow primer and done my eyebrows as well. Now for the bronzer, I'm going to use the Chanel. It's the Beiges, the Healthy Glow Sun-Kissed Powder. These came out a little while ago, and this is the one in light coral, but I'm just going to be using the bronzer today because I've got those other beautiful new Chanel products to try. So for the brush, I think I'll take a Sonia G. This is the Niji Pro, and just go into bronzer part in the middle here. I really love these palettes. I ended up getting them all, I think, in the end. So I will use, I think I've done video on 2 or 3 of them, but I will use the others in future videos. I just think they are gorgeous, and even the darkest one is really lovely, and I also use that as an eyeshadow as well. The bronzer in it is quite dark, but you can still use it. You just have to tap in and then just tap a little bit off onto your hand and then pop some on. But all of them are just absolutely gorgeous. So now let's take a look at the Chanel Makeup Takeaways. As I said at the beginning of the video, this is the one, the Nature Getaway, and there's also the green one as well. This is $195 US, and I purchased mine from Selfridges. And on the Chanel website, it says these are an exclusive limited edition makeup set imagined by Comets Collective member Valentina, featuring 4 products in vibrant, refreshing shades inspired by Gabrielle Chanel's leisurely walks in the woods. The items are presented with a book-shaped case that recalls herbarium manuals and other botanical works. It says that the Chanel Makeup Takeaways include unique pouches and playfully combines dazzling tones with a variety of finishes for looks ranging from natural to bold. So let's take a look inside, and this is how it is presented. I'll just hold it up a bit so you can see. So in here you've got the pouch, and also in here is a Balm Essential, you've got an eyeshadow, you've got a Cocoa Flash, and you've also got an eyeliner as well. So let's start off by looking at the pouch, and this is how it is inside. It's wrapped in some tissue paper, so I'll just take that off. And here is the little case. It feels sort of like a vinyl. I think it would be quite easy to clean. They call these like a little, this one a little bookcase. But once you open it up, and inside it also could be used for makeup and put different bits of pieces in. I think these are super cute and really fun, and I just think it is gorgeous, and it actually feels quite robust. So I'll just hold it up so you can take a better look. And here it is inside. It's actually got another separate little sleeve there. So I think this is super cute and something that you can store either your makeup items in or anything else that you want to. And I imagine that there's even going to be some people, I'm not going to do it, but I can guarantee you'll see on the internet a bit later, once these are released more, someone will put something on here so they can attach a strap and use it for a crossbody or something similar. So first of all, I'm going to show you the liner. Now this one is in the shade Heartbeat. All these shades are exclusive to these kits, and this is a shade that I will not wear. But perhaps the shade could be used for something else. Has anyone tried them to use as a blush or even perhaps as a lipstick? Because I'm going to show you the shade, and it is actually very, very bright. I'll just swatch it on the back of my hand. So this is the shade Heartbeat, and it is super bright, and I won't be using that as an eyeliner. But as I was saying, maybe you've used these as something else. Could it be used as a blush? Probably if you put it on very quickly. I'm not going to try that today because I've got the Chanel, the Jardin Imaginaire in the Golden Peach, and I want to use that. But it will be interesting if any of you have tried it, like I was saying, perhaps as a blush, perhaps as even a lipstick with a gloss over the top. Let me know if you have. And next is the Balm Essential, and the shade is also exclusive to the set. Now this looks really, really pretty. This could be used, I think, almost as a blush on its own as well, although often people use it as a highlight. So I'm going to swatch that on my hand, and it is very light. But I do think it could be just solely used as a blush. Now, I also use these as a lipstick as well, just by themselves. And so I think this is a really pretty shade. And next is the Rouge Cocoa Flash, and this is in the shade Beiges. And this is a really gorgeous shade. So here is the shade Beiges. And I'll swatch this on my hand as well. Now, I love the Cocoa Flashes. They're one of my favourite lipsticks in the Chanel line. Now, this is a really pretty shade. It's a corally pink. Absolutely gorgeous. And also in the box is the single eyeshadow. This is the last item. Now, this shade is called, this is Rose in Hand, but I think this is supposed to be more of a coral shade. So here is Rose in Hand. This is really beautiful as well. And this is a satin shade, and it has a little bit of sparkle in it as well. So I'm just swatching this so you can take a look. So here is the eyeshadow, Rose in Hand. And I don't know whether you'll be able to see, but there is just a tiny, it's a satin, but just with a little bit of sparkle as well. So I am going to use the single eyeshadow today, but I also want to add a little bit of depth. So first I want to go back to the Sun Kissed powder, and I'm just going to use the bronzer shade. This is a Raffit number 14 brush. So just add a little bit in the outer corner, just through the crease and above as well. Now this is an eyeshadow from the swatch on my hand that you could use by itself as a one and done, but I always like to add a little bit of depth, and I think it helps with a shade that's a little bit lighter. It helps just to give it that extra lift as well. Then I'm going to take the Son G, the pencil one, just staying with this, and I'm going to run this on my lower lash line. So now let's try the single eyeshadow. This is a Rapha number 28 brush, and there is quite a bit of pickup. So I'm going to put that over the rest of my lid. Well, it's definitely got more pigment than I thought it was going to have from the swatch. And that can happen sometimes. What it swatches like can look completely different on the eye. But that is a really, really beautiful shade. I don't know whether you can see, but it has that hint of a sparkle. It's really pretty. So I've just popped on some eyeliner and mascara, and I think the shade of this eyeshadow is just, I think it is really, really pretty. And I'm pleased that I used the darker shade in the outer corner together. I just think they look gorgeous. So now let's take a look at the blush. This is the Chanel Jardin Imaginaire, and this is in the one in Golden Peach. Now I have used this about 2 or 3 times, and I have found it's not quite as pigmented as the light and berry one, but it is still really beautiful. So I use a more dense brush to put it on. So this is the Golden Peach, and it has that really beautiful embossing, although like I said, I've used this about 3 or 4 times, so the embossing just through in here is just starting to go just a little bit. So you've got the matte blush, and then you've got the peachy gold highlighter. It's just gorgeous. So to put this beautiful blush on, I'm going to use my Rapha brush because it is more dense, and it's the number 24. And I just go in there a few times. Now there is quite a bit of pickup on the brush, but I just find, as I was saying, it's not quite as pigmented as the other one, but you can build it up, and it is still really, really beautiful. So when I wore it the other times, this was enough, but I'll build it up a little bit more for the video. So just going to pop just a little bit more through there. I think it's a beautiful shade. It's not too bright, because even with some peaches you can get them quite bright, whereas this is got more brown in it, and I think it's more subdued. It's really, really pretty. Then I'm going to take the Rapha number 18, we'll go into the highlighter, and just going to pop a little bit just over the cheekbones. I think the highlighters are beautiful. There's enough to get a really gorgeous highlight, but they're not too much, so that you haven't got, so it doesn't look like you've got moonbeams on your cheekbones, and they also buff out really beautifully as well. So I think that the blush looks really beautiful, and it goes really gorgeous with the eye look as well. Now for the lipstick, I'm going to try on a couple of different ones, both from the Chanel makeup takeaways that I got. So first of all, I'm going to try the Balm Essential. These are the ones that I said that I do use as a lipstick sometimes. So first of all, I'm going to try this on. So I think that these Balm Essentials work really well as a lip gloss, and they have a hint of colour in them as well, and I just wear them by themselves, and I think that they are just gorgeous. I also use this on the cheekbones, but I was using the other one today, and I think this works really well. Some people say that they are a little bit tacky, and initially they can be, but all I do is once I've popped it on, I just put on a very light powder over the top, and it takes away any stickiness. There are also some people that use them on the eyes, and they also use them underneath their foundation, depending on what shade it is, but I wouldn't do that with my skin since I have oily skin. But apparently if normal to dry skin, then these are definitely a multi-use type of product. But for the lips and on the cheekbones, I think these are beautiful. So now let's try the Rouge Cocoa Flash. This is the one in the shade Beiges, and the swatch on the hand, it looked absolutely gorgeous. And I am absolutely loving this shade. I think it is absolutely gorgeous. The Cocoa Flashes are just a beautiful formula. They're not overly pigmented, but they're very moisturizing as well. And even with the shade and the other ones that I have, they are ones where if you take it with you during the day, you really don't need a mirror to reapply them. But this shade here, I think, is super, super pretty. And to finish it all off, I'm going to use the new Gabrielle Chanel. This is the L'eau, and this is beautiful. It is floral and fruity. It's light, and out of the 3 Gabrielle perfumes, this is my favorite because it is lighter. The others can be just a little bit more heavy, but this is just absolutely beautiful. So here is the finished look, and I think all the products worked really well, and I think this is a really gorgeous, light and pretty look. These Chanel makeup takeaways, I really like this. The only product that I don't think I'll be using from this is the eyeliner because it's that really bright, bold pink. But as I was saying earlier in the video, if you've used it for something else, say as a blush or as a lipstick as well, let me know and see how it works out. I probably will try it out and see if it does work on a day where I'm not doing a video or I don't need to go out, and just see how it works, and I'll let you know in a future video to see whether it worked or not. But the other products in this are just really, really lovely. The little pouch that came with this is super cute. The color is gorgeous. It is quite robust and really handy to put some other makeup products in as well, or whatever else you want to use it for. The eyeshadow is just absolutely beautiful. I love the shade. It is gorgeous. It's a satin, but it has a little bit of sparkle in it. It goes on beautifully, just like the other Chanel single eyeshadows. They are a really beautiful formula and they last really well on the eyes. Really gorgeous shade. The Gold and Peach blush and highlighter duo is beautiful, and I think it looks really gorgeous on. Just not as pigmented, I don't think, as the other light and berry. If I had to choose between the two and I could only have one, then I probably would go with the light and berry. But this is still a beautiful color story, and if you prefer more of the peach color, has a little bit of warmth in it, and the highlighter is just beautiful, then this is a really gorgeous blush. I just think you just need to use a bit more of a dense brush when you're popping on the blush, but I think it looks really, really pretty. And then we've got the last 2 products from the Chanel makeup takeaways. We've got the Balm Essential. This is a really beautiful shade, and I think it looks really good just by itself as a lip gloss, and this would look really beautiful as a highlighter. It's a very subtle shade, but I also think if you just want a very light blush, I think this would work beautifully as well. If you think it is a little bit tacky, once you put it on, then just put on over the top a very light powdering, and that takes away any of the tackiness. The Rouge Cocoa Flash, this shade is just beautiful, and it goes so well with the Jardin Imaginaire blush and also with that single eyeshadow as well, and I just love the formula of these. So all the products that I picked up with, apart from the bright pink eyeliner, I am absolutely thrilled with, and I will get a lot of use out of them. Now with the green kit as well, I think there might be 1 or 2 items in there that you probably wouldn't use either, but you could re-gift them. They would make really lovely gifts. If it's an item that you may not use, then I'm sure someone else would love, but they're really lovely and fun things to have in your Chanel collection. So that's it for today's video. I would love it if you gave it a like and subscribed, and I will see you next time. Bye.